Hello, everyone, and welcome to this month's SAC webinar, How to Get More Bang for Your Buck from Your SAC Membership. A few housekeeping items to mention before we get started with today's webinar. All attendees are on mute. If you have a question for me or today's webinar presenters, please send it through the question section on your GoToWebinar dashboard, or you can use the Raise Your Hand feature to ask your question verbally. You can access the question box by clicking on the plus sign next to the question header on the dashboard. To access the Raise Your Hand feature, click on the hand icon that is also located on the left side of the GoToWebinar dashboard. We will then unmute your line, and you will be able to ask your question. All questions regarding the presentation content will be held until the end of the presentation, when we will open for Q&A. Today's webinar presenters are Erin Roberts and Karin Eaton. Erin is the Chief Staff Officer of the Sign Association of Canada, and Karin is the Director of Government Relations. Without further delay, let's begin. Erin, Karin?
Thanks so much, Anne. Well, let's start off with some obvious things to be thinking about. If you're a member of the Sign Association of Canada or you're thinking about becoming a member, one of the first questions you have to be asking yourself is, what's in it for me? Why should I make an investment in this membership program? And what is my company going to get out of it? So what Karin and I are going to do today is to give you some of the highlights. If you are a member, please pay special attention to these highlights and make sure that your company is making the most of your membership. Because in reality, if you're making the most of your membership, you should actually be getting more back than you're actually investing in the membership. So the first thing to talk about is something that is new for 2018. We have negotiated a membership discount for Adobe Creative Cloud for our members. And once you have renewed for 2018 or signed up for 2018, if you're not yet a member, you will get your license for just $420 US per year, which is about 50% off. And that is per license. So keep in mind, even if you've only got one license, you can almost get your membership back. So do contact us about that, and that's new for 2018. Now, we also have a number of other member discounts which have been in place for a while, but maybe you're not aware of them. So, Karin, why don't you describe those to us?
Sure. Hi, everyone. So, other affinity partners, we know actually of a lot of members who are taking full advantage of these other affinity partners. So, for example, do you do credit card processing? And if you do, and chances are that you do, check out First Data and their reduced processing rates for our members. Second, do you use mailing or shipping services? And so we have a UPS as our affinity partner. And we do have a member who has given the high praise, saying that, you know, he saves every month $200 to $250, which is for him his membership fee. And third example, and here this is me wearing my GR hat, government relations hat, is health and safety training through Haskell. Health and safety should be paramount in every sign shop. And so, for example, there is working at heights legislation that was passed in 2015 but came into force in 2017, so that if any of your workers do their duties at height of 3 meters or 10 feet or more, they need training. So Haskell provides that training. In Ontario, you would have to do training in person, and elsewhere you can do online training, and Haskell provides discounts for our members for such training. And these are just 3 examples.
Yeah, and Haskell is 10 to 15% off of their training, so you really don't need to use much training to get your membership dollars back. So let's move on to, tell us about Sign Manufacturing Day, Karin.
So as we know, and this is not only for the sign industry, but manufacturing industry, talent or search for talent is a big kind of top of mind issue for a lot of our members. And in essence, what Sign Manufacturing Day is, it's an open house event. And Sign Manufacturing Day is a fun and a great day, but bottom line for you is that it can become an integral way for our members to build their employee pipeline. And we do know of members who've had that sign manufacturing day or participated in it and have gotten those students to come back after they've graduated to then whether the intern or they would have actually gotten a job through this. The sign manufacturing day, was started by the Manufacturing Association in the U.S. The International Sign Association but they started the sign manufacturing day 5 years ago, and SAC has been participating for the last 3 years. What is neat for our members is that, this whole organizing of it can be quite overwhelming at first, but what ISA has done is it has provided a great toolkit for our members. So whether it's a letter to the school or it's a promo video that you can show to the students when they come to your sign shop, or just some tips on how to do the tour and kind of best practices. And here you see some images from this year's sign manufacturing day. We had 16 members, sign companies sign up across the country. And here you'll have some images from Pattison signs, and this was in BC. You'll have Pride signs, that's the one where you see a little bit of board. And also we have Montreal Neon signs, and they had a really neat event this year as well.
So we're going to show you a really short video from the Montreal Neon Signs event. But before we go there, Karin, the reality is ISA has made this so easy, right? It's just you get your toolkit and all you do is send it out.
That's right. And so next year, it's always the first Friday in October. So next year, it's October the 5th of 2018. And it's never too early to start planning it. So we wanted to be kind of plant the seeds right now, and it is super easy. ISA has provided everything. They have, Alison Kent there has done a fantastic job in getting us organized for it.
And we do want to add, it is available in French and in English. Now here's Montreal Neon.
All right.
Well, thanks for that. Montreal Neon had a great time, and we hope that all of you are going to participate with us next year.
Mm-hmm.
Karin, so tell us about Knowledge Product. What's a Knowledge Product in the first place?
Well, it is a booklet, but in the interest...
Oh, come on, you're exciting than that. It's a huge, awesome piece of knowledge in a very short document.
Okay, thank you for the definition, Erin, but in the interest of raising awareness about the sign industry, we have created basic knowledge products, or these booklets, information pieces, to be used by our members as well as regulators. So for instance, you will see on the right-hand side, our latest knowledge product was about sign type illustrations, which, as the name indicates, is a booklet of sign illustrations. Seems so simple, yet we really needed it just to ensure that everybody's on the same page. For example, when whether our members or end users wanted to discuss, or even the planners wanted to discuss marquee signs, like what is a canopy marquee sign, what is a combination marquee sign, what is a projecting marquee sign, we needed a way to illustrate that. So we put together this booklet, and it has been a great success. We have members who say that not only do they take it to meetings with planners, but they also use it to educate their own staff. So new staff who come on board to ensure that everybody is using the same terminology. So
that's an issue, isn't it? Because a lot of people, they're hiring new employees who really don't know much about the sign business at all.
Well, I mean, it depends, but yes, the truth of the matter is that yes, sometimes they don't know very little, and so it's really good to have these resources. So you're not just pointing to pictures on Google, but you actually have a booklet of these illustrations.
Good point.
All of these knowledge products are accessible to you through our membership or member portal. And it's also wanted to say here is that if there are products that are missing but would be really helpful to you, please do let us know. You can always email me, Karin at sacace.ca. And because we aim to create 1 or 2 new knowledge products a year. All of these are available in French and English. So, yeah.
So ask for more.
Ask for more.
And look for new stuff every year. Now, for those of you who are sign companies, membership includes ISA membership. So keep in mind that you, by buying a local membership, whether it's in the Alberta region or it's in British Columbia or Ontario or Quebec or Saskatchewan or Manitoba or the Atlantic provinces, please keep in mind that you essentially become a member of 3 associations all at once. You become a member of your local association, you become a member of the Sign Association of Canada, and you also become a member of ISA. Now, I do have to preface that by saying some exceptions apply, but for the most part, that's true. Now, at ISA, you have a lot of resources. There's a ton of resources. Every quarter, ISA comes up with a trends report that shows what's been happening over the course of the last few quarters, what they're expecting to come up in the next few quarters as well. They do surveys of sign companies, asking them what their outlook is, what their hiring plans are. And as a general rule, regardless of what the industry is, we tend to follow what's going on in the US. So this gives you really a sneak peek as to what you might expect to see in Canada. So please keep in mind, all those resources are available to you. Once you become a member, you actually do have your own login to the ISA portal, and we can help you with that at any time. If you've forgotten it, just give us a ring and we're happy to get you back in. Now tell us a bit about this. What does getting inside information mean, Karin?
And that's what I want to say, inside and not insider information.
Yes, okay, let's be clear on that. Inside.
So part of my mandate, and maybe we can also go to the next slide, is that inside information is that part of our mandate here at SAC is to have meetings with municipalities at least once a year, and that's across Canada. So rather than a shotgun approach to government relations where you say, you know, I've had a meeting with such and such counselor, all is good, right? And then nothing happens. We have been really investing time and effort into developing relationships with cities so that they get a better understanding of where we, the sign industry, stand, and we get a better understanding of what's in their minds. So as a result, during these discussions, we've really had you know, for the last 3 years, been nurturing these relationships, is that now when we do meet, we can have a much, I don't know, honest or open discussion of what's on their minds, what's on their radar, so that then we get kind of that inside information and start telling our members, okay, this is what the cities are thinking, this is where, you know, they're going to be maybe reviewing their bylaws, or they're thinking of changing some of the sign permit application processes or whatnot. But this is what comes out during these meetings. So I operate with a government relations task force. We meet on a monthly basis via a conference call, and we have members from across Canada. And this is really where, and I cannot say this enough, contact with our membership and hearing what's going on there on the ground is really important, because this is the only way that we can be proactive. And a government relations kind of program has to be proactive instead of reactive. That's when it works out the best. So when we meet with the task force, we discuss what's going on where you are at, what can we do? Are there any best practices that we've learned somewhere else that we can implement in your city? And so that's just one example. Another thing that I have indicated here is signed regulation peer exchanges. And what that means is that during these meetings, oftentimes cities or the planners will ask me, well, what are the other cities doing? I'd really like to learn. And so in Ontario, just because I myself am located in Ontario, we started in 2016, we started a peer exchange session where signed regulators from across Ontario, as well as the Ontario Government Relations team, we meet and we discuss various topics, anything that is top of mind. Our last session dealt with building codes because that's something that is an engineering stamp, because that is really top of mind here in Ontario.
So, Karin, what's in it for me? If I'm a member, why should I care about this?
Well, first of all, you want to, as a member, you want to reduce your risk and liability. You need to know that you're compliant. So if the bylaws change, we will let you know that the bylaws change. If, on the other hand, if there are issues that are happening again and again and again, it's not only you, but it's also other sign companies around you are having the same issues, then you can come to us and then we would advocate on behalf of you. And we have had, let's say, great success even when it comes to electrical. Like last year, we had some of our members were having issues with with being told that they cannot do certain work, where in fact they were allowed to. And because it wasn't only them who were approaching that electrical authority, but us as an association, we were able to clarify that and alleviate the problem. So really, in terms of our government relations, by being a member, it gives you an opportunity to have input into what our priorities are, to allow us to help you. You get direct access to Karin for information, and as a member, you get this information before non-members do, because you're the first to hear it. There's also an opportunity when you're a member to be part of the bigger picture. When you're working in your sign shop, you are focused on production, you're focused on management, you're focused on finance, you're focused on all sorts of things related to the business. And it can be very hard to get outside of the business and really be part of the bigger picture. And what's going on outside affects your business. What's going on with the new trends that are out there? Is there any new research that's going to change the way that we do business? Regional events like the roadshow, for example, golf tournaments, any sort of social event, this gives you an opportunity to connect with other sign companies, to make new relationships, to get more business, to build more business, to outsource if you need that. Sign Expo Canada, the national trade show, and the regional trade shows give you an opportunity to connect with suppliers in your area who might be great new opportunities for you. The awards, please keep in mind every single year we have an awards competition for sign companies. And by getting involved in that, you have the prestige of being one of the winners, and you're able to market it for, well, indefinitely as being a winner in those particular categories. So remember, this is a free way of actually winning a contest and getting competitive material that you can use in your marketing exercises. Keep in mind, we've got task forces in all types of categories. This is not only a way that you can contribute, but you also learn a lot by being on those task forces, which can be valuable to your business. So if you look at really where we are, even if nothing else interests you, discounts, you can probably get more than your money back just with the discounts alone. If you take advantage of the opportunities for networking and learning and increasing your employee pipeline, you can increase the sustainability of your business and your profits as well too. If you're involved in the GR activities, the government relations activities, that inside information keeps you on top of the regulatory environment. And that and so much more comes with ISA, the knowledge products on outlook, research, and new trends, keeping you in the loop and keeping you ahead of the curve. Karin, do you have anything to add? No, I think you summarized it beautifully.
Well, and that concludes the presentation part of the webinar. Do we have any questions?
Thank you, Erin. Thank you, Karin. If you have any questions for Karin or Erin, You can forward them through the question section on your GoToWebinar dashboard, or if you'd like to ask a question verbally, you can click on the raise your hand icon that is also located on the dashboard, and then I will unmute your line and you can ask your question verbally. Just going through the attendee list, Erin and Karin, and we do have a question. The question is, how do we get involved in Sign Manufacturing Day?
An excellent question. Karin, would you like to answer that?
Yes. So Sign Manufacturing Day is organized through the ISA, while I manage the Canadian side to ensure that all of the collateral is also written in both English and French. But Alison Kent at ISA is the one who organizes it, and she should be the one who is contacted. You can reach her. Oh,
well, you know what? Why not have them contact you directly, Karin, and then you'll facilitate that.
All right, or we can do that. And so you can connect with me via Karin, Karin, at sacace.ca.
And Karin will hook you up with Alison, and you will then get your kit. And in terms of what you actually have to do, you'll get a kit, and then that gives you information for contacting the local high school. Is that your first step?
So what it does is, again, the kit contains, I believe, like 5 different documents. But step 1 for you would be for you to identify a local high school in your area, because you are, who knows best who is in your area and which high school has a tech shop. Because it's just not any high school. You would want to invite students who are in a tech class, grade 11 or 12, but it could be also, other schools. It could be also a trade school, a technical school. But so once you've identified that school, and also preferably the teacher as well, because that is the best way to attract their attention, then you can take the letter that ISA has nicely written up. You put in your own names and the high school's name, put in your logo, and you can send that letter off to the high school. So that would be step 1 to attract that school.
Right, and then once they get interest back from the high school, then basically what you're doing is you're hosting an open house at your shop, right?
That's right. So you will let Alison at ISA know that, or we will know that yes, they are hosting. You can also let them know which school will be coming, and so that is then in their system as well. And then they will also send out. Oh, another neat thing is that what they do is they do a press release. So they will pre-write one for you as well, and they will give you even a list of media contacts in your area that you can send this pre-written press release to. You just need to put in, again, your own company name there, but everything else is written. But then ISA will be also sending out a big press release with names of all the sign companies that are participating.
So at the end of the day, you will have introduced a certain number of high school students to our industry. They will certainly have been introduced to your shop, and it could be something that is going to pay off in a year or two in terms of driving new employees into your shop. So get involved, do it on an annual basis. It's easy, it's fun, and it's good for your business.
And that's the thing. I think fun is the kind of bottom line, because we forget how fun the sign shops can be, because they're full of lights and, all the different departments. And as somebody said, a sign industry has both employees both wearing suits or they can be also wearing jeans. You could be working designing, or you could be working with your hands and building the sign. So it is really exciting for the students. And when I went through with the students this year myself, because I also do social media for SAC, I could see the students' faces light up when they were on the shop floor. So it is a fun experience for them.
And speaking of social media, when you participate, please let us know. Send us photos. We would love to shout you out on our social media channels.
Yeah.
And do we have any more questions?
We do. This question comes to us from another caller. I'm going to mute your line, Robert. If you do have any background noise, just be mindful. Robert, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
We can. Hello, Robert.
Good day.
Hi, Robert.
Great webinar, Erin. And as you know, through recent emails back and forth between you and I'm very interested in this topic, and that's why I'm here. So thanks for doing this. it really showed me the knowledge-based products that you have, the books and so on and so forth. I've kind of been aware of them, but I've never really used them and never really seen them.
Wow,
now,
this is a great opportunity.
Yeah, shame on me. I mean, I have no problems with embarrassment because I do it often to myself. But
and you can read them in both official languages, Robert, too.
And
you get double bang for your buck.
And that's where my whole point is. Is there a better way to get this information out to our members? I have a board meeting with our key here tomorrow, and I am actually taking copious notes on this because this is so worthwhile, and I'm sure that I'm going to ask the question, and I'm going to get blank stares around the table tomorrow that who's ever seen these books.
Well, I'm so glad that you're spreading the word, Robert, and anytime that you want any of that information or digital copies, we'd be delighted to share them with you. It's always a challenge. You know, nobody wakes up in the morning thinking, I just wonder what my association has to say today. We've all got jobs, we're all busy doing other things, and this is just one of the many ways we try to get the message out.
Well, I mean, all of these, the ones that we have published, so that SAC has created and published, they are accessible through our membership page. So every SAC member has a login name and password. And if you don't know yours, please do email us. I believe, Anne, is it at info@sacaid.ca is the procedure? So, and then we can inform you of how you can log in. All of these knowledge products are available in electronic format to you. We also try to, or we aim to print or publish all these knowledge products by the time Roadshow rolls around. So that's when we oftentimes go waving and showing what all we have done. And of course, watch newsletters. Whenever there is something new that comes out, we do inform our members in newsletters that this is happening.
So you don't have to remember everything. Just remember info@sac-ace.ca, and somebody will help you through the process. We'd be very happy to do that.
Info@SAC. What is that again, by the way? Info@SAC.
sac-ace.ca.
Got it. Okay. I was just wondering if it's worthwhile that I'm going to have them spread the news in our French Key newsletter. I think this is worthwhile. I think we're going to try to, and I'm just talking out loud here, thinking out loud here, I'm going to try to have a link to each one of these books from that newsletter over the next 5 months. I think, maybe we can get some more traction there. So my thing is, how best do I disseminate this information to all my members? And that's really where I'm trying to get to. I know that, and as Erin says, we don't wake up in the morning thinking about, well, how can my association serve me? I'd like to push this. I want to put this in front of their faces.
Well, you know what? It's always a challenge with information overload, isn't it, Robert? Getting the message out at the time that somebody actually wants to hear about it. And I guess we just have to try doing it in many different ways at many different times. And thank you so much for spreading the word, and thanks so much for listening, Robert. It's great to have you on the line.
Good stuff. All right, thanks. I'll send you a couple more emails by the time I'm done here. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll connect with you offline.
Okay, thanks, Robert. And do we have any more questions?
We have one more question, Erin.
Yeah.
Question is, what's the process to get the member discounts?
Another excellent question. Thank you very much. The process to get the member discounts varies by the discount. In some cases, there is a code and you just go and reserve online, for example. In some cases, you have to pick up the phone and call with a code. There's different processes for each one. So the best thing to do is to figure out which one you really want to take advantage of. And then pick up the phone, call us toll free, or email us, and we will help you go through, figure out whether that discount is the right thing for you and to help you to get it. And please explore all of the ones that look like they might be worth your while. Keep in mind, too, that this isn't just for one person at the company, and it isn't just for business purposes. For example, maybe your company has reason to want to rent a vehicle from National, but keep in mind that if your employees want to rent a car for the weekend at National, they can use exactly the same code. So share this with your employees. They might want to get 10% off at Mark's Work Warehouse. They might want to rent a car. They may want to get tickets from Percopolis. It's open to everybody. So as long as it's an employee of a member company, anybody can take advantage of these discounts.
Yeah, no, I've looked at even them myself. So Percopolis, if you're, let's say, into, I don't know, Cirque du Soleil, you can get tickets to Cirque du Soleil at a discount through Percopolis.
Yeah, so make sure you get your code for Percopolis, share it with the rest of your employees, and anytime they're looking for stuff, they will be able to go online and see what's there of interest. So I think we better wrap it up now, Anne, in the interest of time. So thank you very much, Karin, for joining me. It's been fun. Thank you, Robert, for being so helpful and contributing and sharing this with the members of the Key. And thank you all to our listeners. A copy of this will be recorded and on SAC's Vimeo channel.